Hi, this is Rachelle with Scrapcraftastic, and this is part 2 of the series on using your Cricut. We discuss how to use JPEG images, the advantages and limitations of that in the previous video, and I will link it in the iCard above and in the description box below if you want to check that out. In this part 2, we will be talking about ping images and the advantages and possible disadvantages of using a ping image. That's PNG image. The main difference between the ping images and JPEG images is that a ping image has a transparent background. And if you remember in part 1 where we were working with JPEGs, we had to remove the background to make the background transparent, and if some of our stickers were not outlined properly, then that would interfere with removing the background. Again, check out the first part of the series and you will get all the information on that. But this time we're going to work with a ping image. This is editing me. I just wanted to pop in and clarify that not all ping images have a transparent background, but we use ping files as designers because you can save them with a transparent background. Now back to the tutorial. Here we are at a new project board. I'm in my Cricut design space. I have the version that is downloaded on my computer. And let's go to upload and find our graphic. So here is the graphic that we were working with before. It is the JPEG. Now I'm going to go upload the ping version of that, which is here. Okay. So we go through the same steps. We upload, we choose complex because simple and moderately complex won't give us the effect that we want. So complex is the best way to go. I selected it and I'm going to click continue. And I'm going to zoom out a little bit so that I can see the full width of my design. So everything looks good here. I don't need to select and erase anything because there is no background. This could be problematic here, but we'll find out. Next, I'm going to click continue. We have a problem. So because there is no white background behind this sticker, Cricut thinks that it's supposed to cut that out. You see there, this side of the screen shows everywhere that it's going to cut. So the gray area will be solid and the black line around the gray area is where the Cricut will cut. So because there is no background specified behind this, Cricut will cut that out everywhere you see the black line, and we won't get a full box out of that. So that's a problem. Let's say we overlook that and we continue. We can do save as a print then cut image. That's what we want. This is the option that you would use if you're just doing something that's a template and you don't need to print it first, you just need the cut lines. For stickers, you need to use save as print then cut. So you select this option. Again, we're just going to overlook that it won't cut that box right for now. Over here, you go ahead and name your image and put in your tags. Tags will help you when you're searching for your images to be able to find them. So make sure your tags are relevant to the image that you're tagging. Then we click save. So it's in here as an option to choose to work with on our canvas. So I'm going to click on it and insert image. And here we are again with the issue of sizing. So when Cricut pulls in images, it opens them at a size that is other than what the actual size is. So generally, when you buy a Cricut file from a shop, they will give you the measurements that you need for that image or for that graphic. I'm going to change the width. I'm going to make sure the lock is locked to keep this in proportion. So I only need one size measurement. I know that the width is 7.5, so I'm going to change it to 7.5. That will automatically keep my graphic in proportion because it's locked The height is 9.77, and I know that because I checked it over here in Photoshop. But I also know that it's correct because my graphic is locked, the size is locked, and it stays in proportion. At this point, if I print this whole box is going to print incorrectly. We already know that. But let's see what happens when we try to print then cut. So I'll just come over here and click make it. We get this message, the same message that we got in the JPEG video, that it is not compatible. The project is not compatible. So I click OK, and I have a little error triangle here on the layer. This is the layer that this graphic is on. All of this graphic is one layer. And let's see what the error says. Image too large. Reduce image size to 6.75 by 9.25 or less. So this will not work. I cannot print then cut this as is. I would have to make some adjustments to this graphic. But you do see, as far as using a ping image, how much easier it is to just import it, adjust your size, and print then cut. We haven't yet been able to get to the print then cut stage because our graphics are too large, but in our next video I will show you how to reduce the size, how to split this apart into pieces. We've already imported this graphic into Cricut Design Space and discovered that we were missing the white background for one of the stickers. If you run into that problem, it can be fixed. I've downloaded a software that is a Photoshop alternative, and it is called GIMP, G-I-M-P, and I will link to the website for GIMP on the resources page on my website at scrapcraftastic.com. If you look up in the top navigation on my site, you will see resources. It's a new link that I've added so that I can share links with you. This will be my first time playing around with it, but I wanted to give you an alternative to editing your graphics that was not Photoshop, and GIMP is free. Okay, so I've opened up our ping file. That's the only thing that I've done. I'm going to zoom in. So this is, if you're familiar with Photoshop or any graphics editing program, then this will make sense to you. If you're not, I suggest that you play around with one and get used to it. They pretty much have the same features. It's just that I am not familiar with this one. Let's see. Ooh, 200%. Let's zoom out. That's too big. Okay. So we want to come up here to where we are. And I think we want to take this fuzzy selection tool. Let's see. Yes. Okay. So this is called a magic wand in Photoshop, but it's called a fuzzy selection tool here. So what I did here is select the empty area, and then I'm just going to fill it with white. Let's figure out how to do it. We're going to go to edit, fill with background color, or fill with foreground color. Let's see. This is showing, this little area here shows what the colors are. Our background color is white, so I'm going to fill it with that. So let me go back, fill with background color, and it does show you the color right next to where it says fill with. So we're going to fill that with background color. And as you can see, it didn't fill in the loop in the J or the loop in the O's. So we're going to come in a little bit closer. I'm going to zoom in a little bit more. So I guess we do need to be at 200%. And I'm going to take this wand and select that area in the J, and I'm going to tell it to fill with background color, and I'm going to select that one. And there are keyboard commands that you can use to do this, but I'm not that familiar with them, so I'll just use the text commands. Okay, so I've looked at that carefully and filled everything in. And if you look really closely, you can see that there are still some empty areas. So what I'm going to do is choose this rectangular tool here, rectangular select tool, and I know it went to the edges and filled everything like it should, but I'm not sure that it did everything quite right around the curve here and around the letters. So I'm going to draw a box around that area. Let's get as close to the edge as we can. Now again, if your file is okay, then you don't need to do any of this. Then I'm going to add a new layer, which come down here, create a new layer. And I'm just going to leave everything as is and click OK. So this box that I have, this empty box, I want on our new layer, and I'm just going to tell it to edit, fill with background color. So it put that layer on top of our sticker. So let's just drag it to the back of it. That puts our sticker back on top. We're going to do unselect. So we want nothing selected. And let's zoom out. That looks good, right? I think it looks good. And it looks like everything is filled in with white. That should be. So let's file, export as. We're going to choose our file extension, which is ping. They have tons of options for file extensions, but we want a ping. And then we're going to save it as DBR All Black Pro 01 REV. I added the REV because it's a new file, so I'm going to keep my original and change the name. Okay. I'm going to leave these settings as is and just go with export. I'm sorry if I'm fumbling with GIMP, but again, I don't use GIMP normally. I wanted to try and use something that everybody would have access to. I'm typically a Photoshop person, so you have to excuse my fumbling around in GIMP. We've made our revised file. Let's go over here to upload, and I've already deleted the other file, so let's upload our new revised ping image, and here it is. It has the REV extension, and we still have our original here, but we want the new one. So we're going to open. Everything is looking good so far. We're going to choose complex, go to continue. Let's zoom out a little bit so we can see at least the full width of our file. That's looking good. Everything's looking okay so far. Let's keep moving, continue. We don't need to make any edits here. And look at our cut lines. Everything is filled in solid, and we have a black line around all of our stickers. If this was the right size, we would be ready to print and cut this. I'm going to save. Again, you would put in your file name and your tags here. Save. Let's choose this one and insert it into our canvas. So we would change the width back to our 7.5 or whatever the measurement is for the particular file you're using. Make sure that our lock is locked, and if this was the right size, then we would be ready to print and cut. Then we would say make it. But again, we have the little triangle here, the warning letting us know that there's an issue, and of course the issue is the file is too big. So it's just a little bit too wide and a little too tall. Now to correct that, I could probably slice off these side washi pieces and my branding at the bottom. So we will get into slicing images up in future parts of the series. That's it for this tutorial. I hope you found it helpful. If you did, please give me a thumbs up. Also hit that subscribe button and the little gray bell so that you receive notification each time I upload a new video. Also check us out over at patreon.com/Scrapcraftastic for exclusive content and digital downloads. Visit my other channel, Journalized Journey, for live craft videos, junk journals, and weekly vlogs. You can find me across social media at Scrapcraftastic. If you have any comments or questions, please leave them below. Thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you later. Bye!